Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. How you guys doing this morning? It's still cold in Chicago. It's like 25 degrees. Yep, I'm not late today. In fact, I'm early. I am early. Yes, I am. I said today I'm going to make sure I got up and got going. I didn't go live yesterday like I had intended. I didn't go live because it's still so slippery in this alley. Oh, hold on, y'all. I gotta get out this alley. It's so doggone slippery in this alley. We're supposed to get some rain, so the rain is going to wash away a lot of this snow and ice. I'm so glad. I'm glad we're not getting no more snow. In fact, the week of Christmas is going to be warm here in Chicago. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me, singing glory, hallelujah. Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me, singing glory, hallelujah. Jesus lifted me. All right, y'all. That song just came to my mind when I said what I said. Amen, somebody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are doing well. I got to take this car to get an oil change. I got to take it to get an oil change. I really, really do. Can't do it Saturday because I got to take my mom to get her hair done at 12, and I can't do it Sunday because they're closed, and I would do it one day next week, but I have to find out if they would do it after work because Christopher gets out of school all this week at noon because this is the final exam week. Next week is Christmas. So, by next week being Christmas, he's out all next week. This is his last week of school until January, until after the holiday. And he is happy and excited. And I did not realize that he was going to be getting off that he was going to be getting out of school at noon every day this week, but he is. So, anywho, I have a question because one of my subscribers, Simply7, she texted me and she was saying that she would buy me a microphone. I have a microphone, but remember I had the microphone and it didn't, I don't know, it didn't work. I bought it from Amazon. So she wanted to buy me a microphone to kind of like, she was saying that when she watched my car chat yesterday, and I just wanted to know from you all, is there a lot of background noise? Because I know that I had the heat up. You all probably heard that, and then y'all hear the car roaring or whatever. So if you want me to get a microphone to do these car chats, let me know. She told me that she would buy me one. But before I let her buy me one, which I don't really want her to buy me one, but I was going to show her what I had, and then I have an idea of the one that I do want. So I gotta go look for it. But yeah, I know I had the heat turned up yesterday because it was freezing yesterday. But you know what today is? Today is Truthful Tuesday. Truthful Tuesday. Truthful Tuesday. And on Truthful Tuesday, if you want to participate, we tell our truth as best as we know how. Whatever it might be, you have the opportunity to let it out. Whatever is going on with you, whatever way you are feeling, go ahead and tell us, and maybe we can help you. But we are here to listen. We do not judge. So whatever your truth may be, we are here to listen to you, and we hope that we can help. And we may be able to help you, and we may not be able to help. And you may not want any help. You may just want somebody. I'm sorry. I was like, I thought that place was closed. You may want somebody to just listen. You may just want us to listen. And we are here for that. However way or whatever way you need, or whatever, if it's easy for you to just vent, because you just need to vent. You know, every once in a while we just need to let things up off our chest. And it's therapeutic. You know, it is therapeutic. I have several truths. I have several. But if you have one, please write it in the comment section below. You ain't got to tell us your whole life story or nothing like that. But if you have something that you want to say, and you want to get off of your chest, please feel free to do so. And again, like I said, we are not here to judge. We are here to listen and support. I often share my truth over here. If you're here for the very, very, very first time, if you just happen to have stumbled across this video for whatever reason, my name is Cece, and on this channel, we talk about life stuff. We do live streams. We do Monday through Sunday, really car chats, Sunday to Sunday, unless there's a haul rendered. Last Sunday I did the Shein Glamour fashion haul for the holiday. It's doing okay. Ooh, it smells out here. It's doing okay. It hasn't got to 1,000 views. I didn't look this morning because I was trying not to be distracted and trying to stay on course to get out the house. So I did not look to see what the numbers are. I think the last time I looked it was up to 800 or something like that. But it's moving real slow, and I think it's moving slow because YouTube is no longer pushing content and people are not getting notifications. I don't get any notifications that anybody has uploaded a video anymore from none of the content creators. None of them. And that might be something that you all might want to expound on. That might be something that you all may want to contact YouTube about, is why is it that you're not getting any notifications? Because I don't get them either. So you may want to contact YouTube. I don't know how you contact YouTube, but YouTube is always having some type of glitches, some type of problem, some type of something, you know. I hate to tell y'all this, but it smells like straight shit out here. Like somebody just took a dump. For real. That's how bad it smells in this city right now. And I'm just like, where's the smell coming from? It stinks outside. Really, really badly. And the dump is not that far from here, the dump where they dump garbage, but it smells. It stinks. So we do Truthful Tuesday, and the truth of the matter is, I don't think YouTube is pushing people's content out like they were. I don't get any notifications. I used to get notifications. It would come across my phone. You know, Pretty Nikki uploaded, DeQuana White, all the people that I'm subscribed to. I get Pretty and Flawed. I don't get anything, no notifications. What I end up doing is going through YouTube to see what has been uploaded. That's my friend Derek who just walked across the street. Derek! Derek! He heard me. I'm gonna have to call him. He about to get on the train. He always talk about everything that be happening on the train. I had to call him. Say, Derek, that was me calling you this morning. You about to get on the. He's about to get on the. He's about to get on the train. He has to be cracking up about the L. He has to be at work at 6, and he be talking about all the stuff that be going on the train. But anyway, what else was I gonna say? Oh, what was I saying? Oh, I should have called his name when he got right across the street. But he gonna be like, "Look, sis, where was you going?" He funny, y'all. He is. Y'all think I'm funny? He is hilarious. He be telling me all the stories that be going on the L. I'm like, thank you, God. Praise God. I don't have to take the L, because I couldn't do it. So anyway, so what was I saying? I'm sorry. I saw him and got distracted. But I don't get any notifications anymore. Okay, I don't get any notifications. Just like you all don't get them, I don't get them either. But one of my truths is this. Yesterday, and y'all tell me if I'm being petty, because y'all will tell me if I'm being petty. But before I tell you all this story, I just want to say this. I think somebody is angry at me, which, you know, y'all know I don't care. But I'm just going to say this. In my life, I have to set boundaries for people, because people often sometimes get very comfortable with me because I am an open book. And they feel like they can say certain things to me that is not warranted. I know a lot of you all are very, very concerned about me, and I appreciate you. But at the end of the day, and I hate that saying, but regardless of what I share with you all or what I tell you all, I'm still grown. Okay? I'm still grown. I'm still grown. And if I come on here and I ask you all for advice, or I tell you all something and you all give suggestions, I appreciate that. But what I don't like is when people step over, this is the truth, is when people step over, when they cross the line with me, and when they feel like they're so comfortable with me that they can dip into my life and think that I need to give them an explanation for what I do in my life. I don't owe anybody an explanation for what I do and how I do it. And that irritates me. And so I had to tell this person that they rubbed me the wrong way by a text message that they sent me. And it was bothering me. It was bothering me because I didn't like it. And it pissed me off. So I think they are angry with me, or they might be upset with me. But it's okay if they are, because I'm not going to be upset. See, that's just the thing. I'm not going to be upset. And so I had to tell them, listen, you rubbed me the wrong way by you saying what you said. And I had to tell them. And I said it in a respectful way. I wasn't nasty. I didn't curse. I didn't say any of that. And they apologized and said that they didn't mean any harm. And I know that they didn't. I know that they didn't mean any harm. But we all have to know our place when it comes to what we all need to learn our place with people. Like I was telling you all about my beautician. You know, I've been knowing her for 20 some years. And it's a lot of things that she sharing me that I don't say anything about. And then there's some things I will say, come on now, you need blah, 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 blah. But I have that type of relationship with her. And when it comes to, something regarding her husband or something like that, I don't really give too much advice in regards to that, because I see why he went around you. I don't give really too much advice about that too much, unless we just in a conversation talking about relationships and men and so forth and so on. But I am learning to set boundaries when it comes to people in my space, or when it comes to people feeling so comfortable with me that they can say things to me. And when it becomes a problem in my head, or when it becomes bothersome to me, when it becomes to the point where I'm thinking about it and it's in my head too much, and it has pissed me off, and it's a constant thing in my head, I gotta tell you. I just gotta tell you, And you may not like it, you may not like my delivery, and I tried to deliver it as nicely as I possibly could. But you may not like my delivery. You may not like my comeback, and that's okay. But it's my truth. And I have learned to start speaking my truth. Whether people like me or not, or don't like how I deliver it, I have learned to speak my truth. Because I can't sit in that. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit in frustration. I can't sit in passivity. I can't sit in discomfort when you've done or said something to me that I don't like. So I have to tell you. I got to tell you. And you may not like it, and that's okay. But that's just the way that it is. Okay, that's just the way that it is. I was watching another content creator who was talking about the lady who wrote the letter, and was talking about her weight. And she was talking about how, being these content creators, how people just, because they get to know you and they get to know your life and get to know who you are, they think that they can, they just so comfortable, and they feel like they can say whatever they want to say to you. And you got to set the boundaries. And I agree with that, If I'm not calling you or asking you for something, or I need you to do something in my life, really what I do in my life really shouldn't be that much of a concern, especially when it really didn't have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my truths. My other truth is that yesterday I called my mother while I was at work. I FaceTimed her. And sometimes I'll FaceTime my mother, sometimes I won't. She don't really like FaceTiming, but she will, And I told her, I said, Mom, you got to learn how to FaceTime, because you never know, you might be in a situation where you need to FaceTime me. So often I'll FaceTime her so she can get used to it. So she says to me, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to, my mother, I tell you, she said, I'm probably not going to be here on my birthday. I said, what do you mean? She said, I'm probably not going to be here. I'm going to be in New Orleans on my birthday. I'm like, you going to be where? In New Orleans. I said, what the hell is happening in New Orleans on your birthday? And who are you going with? What? I said, wait a minute, back up. But she started busting out laughing, because my mother liked to play a lot of jokes and all of this stuff. She be saying stuff, like somebody was at the door, and my niece text all of us saying, who is that man at the door? She's like, my man, you all up in my business, because my niece has can see her Ring door camera. She has access to it. And so my mother do that, my man, and she'll say little things. So I'm like, okay, I ain't pulling that gate this morning. They're gonna have to pull that gate. So, so I said, I'm here very early, 5:30. But I ain't pulling that gate. Dang. My arm hurt. Al can pull it. So she said, my man, she told my sister, my niece that. So my niece was like, Grandma, stop playing. She's like, no, that was the that was the mailman or whatever. You know, she played these games. So she goes, yeah, I'm gonna be in New Orleans. So I said, what the hell is happening in New Orleans on your birthday? My brother-in-law's, I don't know if I told you all, my brother-in-law's daughter, oldest, well, she's not the oldest, she got engaged on Thanksgiving. And we had been waiting and waiting. When I tell you, she's the sweetest young lady. I don't know how she got a father. Anyway, she is so sweet. She lives in New Orleans. Her boyfriend proposed to her. So my sister asked my mother, did she want to go to New Orleans for the wedding? The young lady is getting married. She's getting married March 20th. My mother's birthday is March 21st. So I think my mother's birthday is on a Saturday. Hold on, let me go turn this alarm off. And let me go turn this alarm off, then I'll come back and tell y'all the story. Hold on. All right. I hope I wasn't gone too long. So anyway, she says, Yeah, Imani is getting married. That's her name, Imani. She's getting married March 20th. And my birthday is the 21st. And so Cherie, my sister, wanted to know if I wanted to go to the wedding. So when she said it to me, it kind of, I was like, Now, okay, I'll get into that later. Let me just stick to the story. So I said, oh, okay. And she said, so, yeah, so I'm thinking about going. Okay. So we really didn't talk about it on the phone too much, right? So I'm just listening and everything, listening. And so I got off the phone with her and it pissed me off. Now I know you all saying, Cece, really? But let me just say this. First of all, my mother will be 82 on her birthday, God willing. Okay, God willing, I believe she'll be here on her birthday. But I feel like I don't have a whole... Look, my mother is healthy and she's fine, right? But I guess my point is that she's 82. So I don't know how many more birthdays I will have with my mother. And I just kind of felt a little slighted that my sister would take my mother on a trip or ask her to go on a trip on her birthday, and the rest of us don't get to celebrate my mother's birthday, particularly me, okay, and Chris and her other grandchildren, what have you. It didn't sit well with me. So once again, when something don't sit well with me, I have to say something. So when I got to my mother's house yesterday evening, my mother cooked the food was so good. She cooked greens, macaroni and cheese, candy yams, and barbecue chicken wings. It was fire. Even though them greens, I ate 2 plates of greens. I love greens. I could eat the whole pot of greens. But my stomach was like, bitch, it's on. And it was on. Okay? Greens and spinach. Greens don't always do it to me, but spinach, asparagus, in that green, leafy green vegetable, cabbage, all of that. And I love all of it. I love cabbage, love greens, string beans, asparagus, spinach. It just, my mother said, that's what it's supposed to do. I'm like, okay. And I guess it is. I don't know. But anyway, getting back to the story. So when I got home and she had just about finished cooking or whatever. So she had just about finished. She was just about done cooking. And I probably should go open up this gate, but I'm not. That gate hurts my arm. Oh, that gate hurt my arm. So anyway, she was telling me that she had already told me that she had cooked. And so what I ate for lunch, I had a little TV dinner here, because yesterday I didn't come out this building because that's how cold it was. I said, I'm not going out. So I brought my lunch yesterday. So I can go out today. So anyway, make a long story short, which it ain't that short, but when I got to her house, I said, hey, I'm not really feeling you going to New Orleans for your birthday. And she said, Heifer, I knew you was going to say something. I said, Mama, do what you want to do. I said, but what you are going to do what you want to do. I said, as you should. I said, but I'm a little peeved that I won't be able to celebrate your birthday. I said, this will be the first time in 55 years of my life that I will not see you on your actual birthday. I said, and I got a problem with that. So she says, yeah, I kind of knew you was going to be a little upset. I really didn't want to tell you. I said, Mama, you grown, do your thing. I said, but I've never not been with you on your birthday. And I said, and I feel some type of way about that. And I said, and the fact of the matter is, and I told her this and she got offended. I said, I don't know how many more birthdays that I have with you, I said, and so every birthday that you have, I'm trying to make sure that, you are treated really good on your birthday. And so she's like, oh, she's like, and she's gonna say, Heifer, stop trying to put me in the goddamn ground. You always trying to put me in the ground. I said, I'm not trying to put you in the ground, Diane. I said, I'm just saying. She said, I'm only gonna be gone for the weekend. We can celebrate when I come back. I said, nah. Excuse me. I said, no. I said, I ain't feeling that at all. I said, but I want you to enjoy your birthday. I said, but I just find it to be, kind of fucked up. And that's just how I said it, that you ain't gonna be here and that she taking you to this wedding. I said, why you gotta go to this wedding? I said, that ain't your granddaughter. So my mother said, Sherelle. I said, well, it's not. I said, it's not. She said, we love her. I said, I love her too. But that's not your granddaughter. So why you gotta go? She said, she just offered. She just asked me that I want to go to New Orleans. She said, because, we didn't really get to see. Excuse me. We didn't really get to see a lot of New Orleans when we went for the cruise. She said, that. I said, that's true. So she said, I really would like to take Chris. She said, because I'm only gonna be gone Friday, Saturday. I think she said, and they come back Sunday. And she said, and I was a little worried, because I know Chris got to get to school on that Friday, and who gonna pick him up and all of this and all that. I said, don't worry about that. I said, because, I can pick him up. I said, I can take the day off, or I can work a half a day and pick him up. I said, so that ain't no issue, I said, or we can get the bus, or whatever, or get an Uber. I said, because on Fridays he get out early. And I said, and I think that's the week that he's on spring break anyway. I said, so if that's the case, then he's good. So let's see. Let me move back now. Hold on a minute. I didn't hey Al, I didn't open that gate. That gate is heavy and it hurt my damn arm. I know it hurt. Okay. All right. Okay. I know. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you. So I'm glad that they I'm telling y'all, that gate is heavy. It's heavy. They need to put it on some rollers, so it'll just roll, because you gotta push it. Y'all see me on camera when I'm pushing that gate open, and they keep saying they're gonna fix it, and then the concrete right in front of the gate is all broke up, and they need somebody to come and re-concrete that, because it's all broke up. But anyway, so I said, so as far as Chris is concerned, I said, don't worry about that. I said, because I think that's the week that Christopher is going to be on spring break. And I said, so you don't have to worry, about that. And she said, because I would love for him to go. So I said, I'm going too. So So she goes, oh, that's right. You do have a credit. You do have a credit because you couldn't fly and you got a credit. I said, yep, I do. And I said, even though I said Cherie didn't invite me to the wedding, and I said, and I ain't gotta go to the wedding. I said, while y'all at the wedding, I can be walking up and down New Orleans. And she said, you really want to go? And I said, what I really want is to not, what I really want is to be with you on your birthday. That's what I really want. I don't want to be here and your birthday, and you somewhere else on your birthday. I said, now I'm just keeping it 100. So I just told her how I felt again. You understand what I'm saying? I just told her how I felt. And I just felt like, you know, I don't get me wrong, y'all. I mean, if my sister was like, I'm taking mama on a trip for her birthday, I'm just going to be honest. I would feel some type of way. Yes, I would. You know, I would. And this is kind of like the same type of thing. But, you know, I just would. I mean, it's nothing that I could do about it, right? Because she has a right. That's her mother too, and she has a right to take her mother wherever she wants to. But it wouldn't make me happy, and this don't make me happy knowing that my mother won't be here to celebrate her birthday. And for the last couple of years, you know, I mean, we always doted on my mom for her birthday. But I really, really tried, especially since my father, after my father passed, we really loved on her even the more after my dad died, because my mother was really struggling. And like I told you all, my mother seems to have finally come out of that. And it's been 9 years. But I see the difference in her since she started going back to church. It's like she has a purpose. You know what I mean? She has a purpose. Before, all my mother did was sit and played it, colored on that. She would color. And when the pandemic happened, you know, she was in the house for 6 weeks. Didn't come out, didn't do nothing. Was just in the house, you know. And so now that she has church, and let me tell you something, I know she loved going to church because she went to church Sunday, and Sunday was the coldest day, and I tried to tell her, Mama, stay home, it's gonna be too cold. I got remote starter in my car, and Chris going with me, and Chris he went too, you know. So I know that this is, and the church is not that far from the house. So she's not like she got to drive far, you know. So I know that she is enjoying going to church. I know that she feels like she has a purpose, you know, now. And I'm glad about that. I'm glad that she does. But I just don't, that's just my truth. I just don't want her to be somewhere on her birthday and I don't get to see her on her birthday. That's just how I feel. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm being petty. I don't know what I'm being. I could be all of those things. But what I do know is that I don't want her to be away from, I don't want her birthday to not be spent with me. And that might just be selfish. That might just be whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. It's just the truth. It's just my truth. Like I said, my mother, I'm not trying to act like my mother's gonna die tomorrow, something gonna happen to her. I'm not, at all saying that. But I guess what I am saying is that, the fact of the matter is that, my mother is, up in age. She'll be 82. And, all of these, birthdays are precious, because my father died at 76. He didn't get to see 80. And he didn't get to see 80. So when my mother turned 80, we made a big deal. We had a birthday party last year for her birthday. We did something small. This year, I want to do something for her. I don't know what to do for her, because I'm thinking about giving Christopher a party for his 18th. I don't know what Christopher wants, but I just know that I don't really want my mother to spend her birthday. I don't really want her to spend her birthday somewhere else other than here or whatever. And like I said, my sister don't have to call me and say, well, I'm taking mama here, blah, 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 blah. She don't have to do that. That's her mother too. But hold on a minute. Oh, damn. What do you want? Damn. What's up? The rags? Oh, you know what? In the refrigerator? Yeah, in a big old box. Y'all know he can talk. This is the one that can talk. He didn't want to. He wanted to ask me about them rags. Cause I don't. It's only it's 5:50. We have to be at work at 6. I don't go in there. I let them talk amongst themselves, and then I go in there right before they leave. They talk too much, and I don't be wanting to talk this early in the morning. I talk to y'all, but I don't like to talk to human beings early in the morning. I just don't, and I've always been that way. So that's my truth. That's one of my truths. That's how I feel. My mother knows me. She said, I knew you were gonna say something. She said, I was shocked that you didn't say nothing when we were on the phone. I said, well, it took me a minute. I said, I had to let it marinate that this is actually what was taking place, or what was going to take place. I'm gonna hurt him. I'm going to hurt him. I call him Cletus. His name is Clyde. Remember Cletus, the clumps? All right, Cletus. So she said, I was surprised that you didn't say nothing. I said, yeah. I said, it had to marinate for me. I said it had to really sink in, that that this is what, what you were talking about. I said, I just, so I'm not asking for you all's opinion, because some of you all may say I'm wrong, and that's fine. It's okay. I'm not offended at all, but I still feel how I feel. I still feel how I feel. And that ain't gonna change. I still feel how that's just how I feel. I have never missed a birthday. Just like she's never missed mine. Although I guess I can't really say nothing because on my 50th birthday, I wasn't here. I was in Cabo, Mexico. So I guess she probably feel like, well, you was where you was at on your 50th, and now you want to, But again, it's just different. It's different because she's older, and I just feel like time is of the essence, and time she has. My mother could live to be 100, 102, 103, 104, 105, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's just how I feel, and I just feel like I just feel like I don't know. That's just how I feel, y'all. That's the only way I can describe it, explain it, what have you. That's just how I feel. I'm trying to see, what are they doing over here? I don't know how all these cars fit up in this lot. Oh, okay, I see how you doing this. So yeah, so that's just one of my truths. I'm about to go get me some coffee because I'm hungry. That's just one of my truths. And yeah, so that's how I feel. The other Truthful Tuesday that I have to share with you all is that there is a possibility, a great possibility, that it's not that I'll be laid off from this job, but without telling you all where I work, I'll just put it to you like this. You remember when the government had the shutdown? Well, and people didn't get paid? Well, a similar thing is about to happen, or may happen, here in the city of Chicago because of where I work. And if that happens, my last paycheck would be December 22nd. And that would really, I would take a huge hit, because it would affect my insurance. It would affect everything, my mortgage. So if they do not, it's all regarding budget. And if the budget is not passed by the end of, it's not passed by the December 31st or the 30th or the 31st, we may be in a shutdown, where we will still have to come to work, but we would not be getting paid. So I have been watching this very, very, very closely, because I can't miss the reason I have been coming to work every day since I went on the cruise. I have not missed a day. I have not called in sick. None of that. Okay, none of that. And mainly because I need my money. I need my money. You know, Ubering Christopher to school every day has been costly for me. My bills are still the same, you know. In fact, it seemed like my light bill went down, but it might go back up because of the Christmas stuff that I have going on, you know. I know my light bill gonna be higher because I got stuff running all day. You know, I got my Christmas stuff out in the yard and, you know, all of that. So I know my light bill gonna be high. The gas bill is still high because I'm still paying off that $2,000. So, and I've been paying it on time. I've been paying the light bill on time. The light company sent me a letter saying that the deposit that I had to pay, they're gonna give me that money back, so that'll be good. And I've been paying it on time, you know. The mortgage hasn't been paid on time because everything was flipped when I had to do that mortgage reinstatement or whatever it was that I had to do, that repayment. I made arrangements to pay this bed and this washer and dryer off. And so I can't afford to be in no shutdown where I'm not getting a check. YouTube money helps. It's not a lot, but it helps. It does help. It helps. I'm not on OnlyFans that at all, really. I'm on there, but I ain't on there. I'm gonna go get me some coffee. What's this person? But it, you know, but it helps, you know. And so every little bit that I get helps, you know, and I can't afford to be in no shutdown where I'm not gonna get paid. And never and my mother said never in her lifetime living here in the city has this ever happened, due to budget reasons. So I'm asking you all to pray because it's going to affect a lot of us. You know, it's going to affect a lot of us. It's going to affect it. Normally, when something like this has happened, it didn't affect the police. Oh man, I meant to go that way. It didn't affect the police and firemen. This time, it's going to affect everybody. So, with that being said, that it's going to affect a lot of people. Ain't nobody got time for that. And people, we're a little concerned. You know, we ain't worried, but we concerned. So, yeah, a little concerned. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, they need to Hi, can I get a large decaf coffee with 8 sugars and 8 creams?
Okay.
And can I get the maple sugar bacon sandwich without the egg, please? And some grape jelly. That's it. So, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. So I don't know how this is gonna. Oh, thank you, sir. I don't know how this is gonna play out. Can I have a knife? Did you put a knife in there? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Last time I asked them for some jelly, they gave me the jelly. They didn't give me no knife. So I'm just soliciting your prayers for that. You know, like I told you, like I've told you all before, this is just the honest to God truth. It's icy right here. I don't have money saved. And that's why I told you all that when I do get an income tax return, I'm going to save it. When I do, you know, what my plan is to start saving money. You know, because these are things, we're living in a time where we just don't know what's going to happen day to day with all of the financial woes that so many cities are going through due to this funky ass president that we have. And when I tell you all, he is such a motherfucker. You know, it's amazing to me how he was so distraught over Charlie Kirk's killing, but yet Reiner, the actor who was killed by his son over the weekend, but yet what the fuck you looking at? Because you act like you don't know how to drive. Trying to squeeze that damn car up in that little space and looking over here at me. What the fuck you looking at? Anyway, he wrote on Twitter about Reiner and saying that he was deranged and he was this and he was that. And it was mainly because Reiner did not like Trump. And he talked against Trump's policies. So this motherfucker tweeted, oh shoot, now this is broke. He tweeted about him, and it was real nasty. And I just don't understand how y'all voted for this person. I just don't understand how you all, those of you that voted for him, I just don't understand. I really don't. I just don't. Because you knew what he was before you voted for him. Whether he won the election or not, square and fair, which I don't believe that he did, but let's just say that he did. Let's just say that he didn't. The fact that you stood behind a podium and voted for this criminal, this child molester, this rapist, this felon, now I'm gonna say this. I just don't believe that his ass had been shot at twice. I believe that he had somebody shoot at him. Because it's just amazing how both times his fat ass ain't never been hit. I don't believe that boy who shot at him up on that rooftop, I don't believe none of that is real. I believe all of that bullshit is fake. And the fireman who got killed and all that, let me tell you something. I don't put nothing past him and his people. I don't. So, I just don't understand how you voted for him. I don't. And I know we live in a democracy where we can vote for whomever we want to vote for. We have that right. That's the dark democracy that we live in. And I understand it and I get it. And you have every right to vote for whomever you want to vote for, because that's your right as a American, as what's in our democracy. I just don't understand how. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, that's my truth, y'all. That's my truth today. So, you all share your truths. Let me know what your truth is. Again, we do not judge. We listen. We listen. I appreciate you all watching all of the videos. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all for being my friends, my family, my counselors. Just being who you are. I appreciate you all. And that's a truth as well. So I'm going to let you all go. I will see you all tomorrow, or I may see you later on live. I'm not promising that I'm going to come live. I'm going to try. I said I was going to come live yesterday, and it didn't happen. So I'm going to do my best to go live today. Okay? It depends on how I feel. That's just the truth. All right. Peace and blessings and all of that good stuff to you all. Have a great and amazing day. Bye. Peace.